So we have 42 participants right now.
Right. So we should begin, right? We should be fair to people who are attending, come to the class early, and we should be respectful to the speaker, Jaya, as well. Okay. It is my pleasure to have Jaya with us, a very, very distinguished speaker with us today for the fireside chat. It's my privilege to introduce her to the class. She holds a degree from College of Engineering, Colorado State University, ISB Hyderabad, and an executive management program from Stanford University. All these things do not really matter compared to what she has achieved so far in her life and career. Very, very inspiring. She has been instrumental in helping implementing some of the earlier supercomputers in the country. She has been a CTO and board director for an Irish multinational company called Pace Silicon, which got acquired by Nvidia. Later, she founded this Nvidia Pune Design Center and built into largest engineering hub outside the US. I understand what are the difficulties she's faced is either based in Pune, catalyzing over 100 patentable innovations. If she has not been a remarkable leader, this would not have been possible at all. Right, establishing more than 75 plus NVIDIA academic labs across the India. She has been part of a HRD core expert group at National Supercomputing Mission. Post her corporate career, she has been doing a lot of this national building activities, always open for interacting with people, building things. She has been a chair for board of governors at Sardar Vallabhai National Institute of Technology, NIT Surat, which is the topmost person in an NIT, must have done a lot of changes in terms of curriculum. This is an appointment given by President of India. Right. So she's always open for having conversations. In fact, I felt really, really nice to have this telephone conversations with her. And it is wonderful to have you, ma'am, here. And I would say that, once again, I would say that it's a privilege. Right. Welcome to this fireside chat. As I told you earlier, these are a set of participants who are aspiring to become CTOs, spend around 10 to 15 years in the tech industry, are still working. Some of them are in core manufacturing sector or BFSI sector, but taking care of IT related things. Okay, I request people to mute in order to facilitate a good conversation. Jaya ma'am, I'll start with very simple questions. I want to understand from your perspective what takes to become a tech leader. You have done so much. What is the kind of advice? We'll start lighter, then we get into heavy questions. Please.
So first and foremost, I would like to say thank you to Professor Vignesh. I'm from basically a IT organization now or software organizations. So calling professor and other things are really out of my say, because everybody calls me Jaya. So you call me Jaya and I will call Vignesh because I took a permission to call him Vignesh. So it is much better relationship like that. To start with, I just wanted to say that last 54 years, I'm in technology field. I had an opportunity to work on upcoming technologies right from 1975 when I joined Central Water and Power Research Station, when I was working on actual computers, Hewlett-Packard computers, which were the dream type of computers that time, with interactive terminals and graphics facilities on the computer. And after that, 23 years, I worked on very, very innovative research projects. Government, they didn't call it CTO. CTO term was introduced in 1980, I think. So it was not introduced also. So right from that time, I was leading technology groups. One of the interesting projects I took was for you must have heard about Narendra Modi has inaugurated the loading of the nuclear power plant on Kalpakam. So I had an opportunity to set up as a leader of setting up hydraulic laboratory for Kalpakam nuclear power reactor, prototype fast breeder reactor with complete geometry, model in perspex for viewing the hydraulic structures. That was an innovation. So basically, it was a CTO innovation when I used very, very different equipment for measuring turbulence. Then my journey came to chief technology officer of an Irish company, which I will explain to you a little better. And then it came to Nvidia. You know all about Nvidia today. But when I started, it was a 12-year-old company. I took role of CTO in different fashions. Vignesh, I'm on track.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah. So basically, I will tell you that when I was in a research organization, I was handling projects which are new for SCAF region and new and first time developed in India. Then when I was the CTO, not formally called CTO at that time, I was called the director. Uh, that time we had a Texas Instruments chip which was used for camera-enabled phones. It was in 2000 where camera-enabled phones were very new or not introduced at all. And Texas Instruments wanted us to show the demonstration on their chip as a new company if we want to move ahead. And to our side was a very big giant in videos, was Packet Video, which were demonstrating videos on PCs for a tough time. And we were the first one in video technology. The time was when whether we should go for operating system based solution or a bare metal solution. So company's name was Pace Soft Silicon. So basically we decided that we will stick to our name and we will show a bare metal software solution because that was the only possible thing. So operating system on the platforms were not stable. And we demonstrated a complete audio video playback solution on that platform, which was demonstrated in France for the first time by Texas Instruments. And that gave us, the company was of only 10 people at that point of time. This was basically how CTOs have to align with the market needs. Align with the market needs the solution that they want to do. So that was for first and foremost of all the thing. That allowed us to become the independent software vendors of Texas Instruments. And then when we started showing this solution to the others, automatically they asked us to go on operating system. We went in 3 months on operating system, we promised. That is another responsibility of a CTO, that he should appear in front of the meetings, that confidence that the company should be able to demonstrate it during a given time frame. So that confidence is required from a CTO, and he need to have a technology knowledge, depth of knowledge, and also the kind of techno marketing skills. So while passing through, I'm telling the technology skills of a CTO moving ahead. So that was first one. And then we went and moved it to that space. Then we went to Palm Source. They were invited to us for Palm Source event where we demonstrated our solution on Symbian operating system. That time Nokia was on Symbian, Motorola was on Symbian. And it was liked by many people. But then Palm themselves called. You know, Palm has a PDA that time, if you remember, anybody of you. So they wanted video audio solution. And they asked me that, but your solution will not be portable across different operating systems. I got stuck with an idea that we require a media processing engine so that we can port it to different operating systems. So this is sometimes that the marketing discussion allows a CTO to derive a very innovative part of his movement, his or her organizational movement. So that was the one that I decided came back, and we had today a patent on Pace of Silicon and then on Nvidia of media processing engine. So we won the patent for that. And that allowed us to become the partner for Intel and Microsoft. So when we became the partners for Microsoft, we could give the solution to Samsung, Acer, Asus, Motorola, Palm, HP, everybody, because they were opting for Microsoft solution. So this is how a journey of a CTO can happen through a very new startup company. And that ultimately allowed us to become so competent that Nvidia looked at us. They were there that time going for a new video chip, mobile chip. And they looked at us and they liked our solutions. And a company of 60 engineers, only 5-year old, 60 engineers also for last three years. Nvidia, a $4 billion company with 4,000 employees that time, acquired a 60 people company with headquarters in Pune, nowhere else, all engineering happening from Pune. And they liked us so much that they said that we will start the center in Pune. They wanted to go to Bangalore, but we could convince them that I will not come to Bangalore. And they said that, okay, we'll start the center in Pune then. So this is how a CTO can be influential, but CTO has to play a different role in research organization, a startup company, and when I become the NVIDIA CTO. And actually, I was the CEO of Pune Center, but CTO of overall NVIDIA operation on certain domain of building the technology forefront. So I think I will tell NVIDIA story a little later. Maybe Vignesh, you can.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, the time period in which we are talking about is little world, right? The technology is evolving, new technologies are coming in. And what you have is people predominantly male engineers. They are not really used to women leaders, especially in the technology space. So, is it possible for you to highlight few things? How did you interact with the C-level executives and similar other business domains? Are you very interacted with people from other countries?
I will tell you some of the countries from the eastern part of the world, like Taiwan and Korea and Japan. I faced this difficulty of having, even Australia, I faced some difficulties of accepting the lady as a chief technology officer. I will recite some of the examples. Uh, when I was CTO of Pace of Silicon, my name is Jaya. It can be pronounced as Jay, and Jay can be a male
Yeah.
name also. So a person from Australia came and he entered my room and he was surprised and he went back and he said that, oh, lady. And then he came and sat and then he said that, I never expected a lady to be a CTO. So that was a surprise to me. But I said that, oh, but I am. So let us discuss. And after that, he was so impressed with our discussion. So actually, we don't have to get upset by these comments. We have to stand on our own feet and defend, not defend actually, have our confidence, show them that we are capable. So that is one thing, that our facial expressions, our body language should not change. I had one experience from Korea. When we were setting the NVIDIA Design Center, from NVIDIA Korea, a person for our IT infrastructure came. When he came to the office, I was out of office. So my IT manager came next day to my room and said that this Korean IT person has come and he wants to meet you. And I said that, oh, I'm standing. No, instead of calling him here, we will go to his where he is sitting. And he was sitting in a cabin. And when I entered, he immediately asked me, are my air tickets booked?
Oh God. Right. Terrible.
So, so these types of experiences also I have faced. But one thing I will tell you that, and I'm not very surprised. Even when I had my first presentation in strategy meeting at NVIDIA Santa Clara in front of Jensen and all the people, there was a group of lady engineers from finance and from HR and other things, but not from technology too many. So I gave a technology presentation on the how we have built up the Pune Design Center. Jensen has asked me to give that presentation. So after my presentation, I got so many replies that your presentation went on very good, well, or something. And to my surprise, when I went into the restroom afterwards, there were many ladies, these HR and finance and other ladies were there. And they said that it was really good, Jaya. Being a lady, you could stand up on that dais and give the presentation. So even for them, it was not very common to have a lady CTO. And I don't think that had changed too much today. You can see many CEOs, many finance CFOs, many CIOs, but there are still very few CTOs, lady CTOs available. That's my thought.
Right. Thank you very much. So, assuming that the gender component is taken care, you are able to not to react immediately for the ticket booking, and you are able to stand your ground and be confident do this. In general, what is your advice when you interact with the rest of the business people? Say, for example, marketing head. You're thinking of a new product. You're trying to understand the technology trends. You have understood it. You want to push it to the market, right? When you interact with people coming from other verticals, okay, what are the things you normally did in order to convince them?
See, first and foremost of all, one thing you have to remember that it CTO's role depend upon where it is a startup or it is a set company. In startup, CTO requires a very large bandwidth, horizontal bandwidth, as well as enough technical bandwidth to understand and articulate all the branches so that he can put all the blocks of the company together and all the interconnects of the block together so that he has a complete feel of what is happening in the company. And he need to have also a very good understanding of what market the company is looking at. What is CEO's strategy? And then drive the strategy along with CEO and marketing to suit the organization. Because, and he has to have a very good business acumen. Business acumen is very important. It's not just the technology depth. If you know Java or if you know your language to the depth or if you know AI ML to the depth, that is just done for the CTO. That's not the case. Because you are driving, CTO is a very important post for any organization or even any vertical. For big companies, there are CTOs for the verticals. But verticals to verticals, there should be the understanding of what happens in each vertical and what are the available capacities and capabilities of those verticals so that you don't reinvent the wheels. Because that is very important. Otherwise, you are losing companies' money. And getting along, networking with your partners, other CTOs, is very, very important. You have to have, you have to keep the egos aside and you have to have the motivation in the front.
Sorry about this. Okay, the two questions. One is related to the business acumen, or trying to understand what the business is doing, and trying to understand the ecosystem in which the business is operating. What are the things as a CTO you can do in order to develop this? That's question number one. Question number two, in terms of networking, do you have any specific advice related to doing this networking? Yeah.
Okay, one thing I will talk about business acumen. I will give an example. When I was working as the CTO of Pace Silicon, we had an opportunity to develop a codec for media processing. It is called MPEG-4. It is video codec. And ATI demanded that codec from us. And we wanted to sell it as a licensed product. We were the product company. We were not the services company. So we were licensing it to the ATI. ATI was a big name that time, shoulder to shoulder with Nvidia. And there was license fees. They wanted to negotiate with us. And I was of the opinion that we should negotiate a little bit and accept ATI's offer. because that was our first licensed product offer. My CEO was feeling that no, our technology is so unique that we should not go for that. But my business acumen was telling me that this is the first technology. Let it go into a big company's hand. It gives us a lot of value. And we did not accept that. And we lost that opportunity. And next, in a year's time, the similar opportunity with HP came. And HP is hard in negotiations, I don't have to tell you. And they were really negotiating with us. And that time, I again asked my CEO, what is your comment on this? No, let us negotiate and get back. I learned a lesson. You have better business acumen than mine. That was the comment.
Right. Wonderful.
So this is what I mean by business acumen. And by infrastructure,
Yeah, we are good. Continue, please.
I got out,
No. You are in the meeting. We can see you. We can hear you.
but I'm not able to see you.
Okay. There is a video problem. Maybe the window got minimized or something at your end.
Yeah, I got you now.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So another thing was in Pace in Nvidia. Vertical preparation of a CTO is also building the organization. This is also very, very important. If you are in an organization and if you have to build, for me, I had to build entire organization. What some person, a CTO has to build a vertical. And you find that it is so new. And in AI ML world, there can be some things which are really new. Every day the things are changing, and you don't find the people who are really capable of handling that multidisciplinary, consider robotics type of things, multidisciplinary approaches in that either they know software or they know mechanical engineering or they know electrical engineering, and combine them all together into under one roof is very tricky. So under that scenario, you have to recruit the people, and you have to skill and reskill them. And you have to give not the time, because we don't have time nowadays. We have to be very fast. So people work, instead of 9 to 5, they work 5 to 9. 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. That is a normal thing, especially when you are building an organization. I remember when I was building NVIDIA's graphics technology was very new to India. I moved across India, and I was not getting the people for knowing graphics and knowing the big software drivers. And I went to all IITs, all NITs, and I decided that no, I will talk to all NIT and IIT directors and tell them that we are setting up this kind of center and I'm not getting the people. So I want to come and talk to your students. I don't want to talk to professors, but also to the students. And then I had lectures with the students. And then I started this 86 labs, which I started. I started these labs. I went back to my NVIDIA headquarters. I said that we are not having the people which we require, but I get a challenge that in 6 months' time, I have a team ready. And I went and started labs, gave them the equipment, students started working. I recruited 60 new college grads at one stroke in 1 June. And those worked all nights to match their timings with Santa Clara, and rested during day, whatever the rest they can. They were all bachelors. They were all fresh graduates. They had lot of enthusiasm. So they really worked. And in 6 months' time, we were supplying from Pune Design Center notebook with graphics facilities to Acer and Asus. Entire Taiwan region, a Pune center could handle. So this is the type of skilling, reskilling we may have to do. And that is very important, that building up that facility. Actually, I set up also one more thing, that graphics was not in the common people's hand at that time in India. Students were not using these cards because these cards were absolutely costly. And to give that into students for families, it was on low on priority. They will definitely like to buy a fridge or a microwave or a washing machine instead of buying a graphics card for playing the children a game. So basically, that was the case, and I explained that, and then I set up a lab inside my center. Know your products, and I kept all our products there 24/7 for the student, for the recruiters, new trainees, and my people, to work with them to understand the features of those. So that is what why marketing is saying that we want this feature instead of this way. They could understand that. So that these are some of the initiatives that a CTO has to decide on his or her own. They are not driven by anybody else.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, briefly, can you talk about networking? How do you do networking? I understand those days there is no LinkedIn.
Okay, good. Networking is a good point. In India, in Pune, how we did it, I will tell you. Fortunately, there was a company called Zeno. You know about Zeno?
Yes.
Yeah. So Zeno, that time it was new. They started in Pune, some drive, and they started talking to all of us who were the head of the MNCs of different organizations. And everybody has a feel that these MNCs or these IT services companies, the people are only doing the kind of freely work. They are not doing really innovative work. And sometimes the employees get frustrated because they have the capability, but they are not allowed to do. So, what should be the case at that time? So, we all CEOs sat together. We used to have one day meetings. Even I remember that BMC, then QLogic, then Persistent, those kinds of companies also joined. We used to have one day session and we used to discuss that what are the things that we can do to have our people seen so that they can get something which is really innovative product line. So everybody of us decided a capability level model and how to move across the capability level model, so that instead of doing a freely work, how we can step up and start showing it by the KO and KPI, keep measurement something. So that we can divide product specification and deliver a product to their specification. So that time it was a really good idea, and that really resulted into so many patents from Nvidia Pune Center.
Okay, beautiful.
I hope that it is a good example.
Yeah. Very good. Thank you. Okay, I will keep the floor open for questions. If you kindly allow me to give priority to women participants and learners in the group. The floor is open. Yeah, the floor is open. Yeah. Please raise your hand. I'll give the opportunity. Yeah. Right. Bhavin, go ahead. Make it brief. Yeah.
Sure. Thanks, Jay. Jay, really a great depth of the experience of the industry, IT industry. I come myself from the IT industry, and we are all into an AI era where, similar to internet, and everything is being coming as new, right? So, what is your advice, right? You've seen many such phases in past where there is always, it comes with a threat, it comes with a challenge, right? Now the entire IT industry, the model of Indian IT services, which is based on writing code, providing people, giving the skills, that's it's a threat essentially coming because of AI can do a lot of things. So what would you have as an advice to the upcoming CTOs or all the participants here?
To me, one thing is very important, that the technology is changing very fast and the chips are becoming very complex. In order to make the use of the complexities of those chips, which are essential in the data center, to do AI, ML, and robotics, and those all kinds of computational aspects, the stack between the chip and the upper layers, physical layers, or the what I can say, the application layers, is becoming very big. So IT services companies have two ways of entering into that. You have to reskill your IT company, IT trainees into the stack development. That means they need to understand the chip facilities, they need to understand the stacks and the tools and the application and the what I can say, the measurement capabilities. All these things they need to understand. Or on the top layer, they should be able to understand multidisciplinary approach, where they are capable of understanding the engineering or scientific or artistic disciplines. Like if a person is architect, the tools are such that tools allow him to use his architectural skill very easily. So he doesn't need your coding now. So if he needs coding, then understand what he needs at that point and make that interface. Instead, if you go to the chip, and in chip there is a core for architectural design, and understand that and write tool for that. Are you getting? So basically, one thing is there are two layers. One is to act very near to the chip in the stack domain, and one is to understand about the physical problem domain. But only IT services really applications are going to die. They are going to be outdated. That is my real opinion in few days.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. Dilip, please go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, good evening.
Yeah.
But just like in today's AI era and very innovative era, so while designing a modern enterprise application, so what are the major aspects we should consider? Because now the people are expecting, okay, codes are already available, you get it and done it. So these are the one part. So apart from this, what are the major aspects that should be considered while designing the modern enterprise application?
There was interference. I didn't get the question.
Yeah, Dilip, please repeat it.
Yes. So, am I audible now?
Yes,
Yeah,
please.
you are audible.
Okay. So, in the AIs and innovative area in emerging technology, we know that. So, while designing a modern enterprise applications, so what are the major aspects we should consider?
Okay, now consider one application. I will
Yes, while
consider
designing the modern architecture enterprise application.
which application. Maybe you can consider finance model.
Yeah, finance. You can take any example. Finance, BFSI sector. You can take.
Finance model. Now there are many models available. There are many interfaces available. So first and foremost of the things that you should be able to evaluate which one is the better and how these models interact with each other. This is at the block level, you understand the features of the model. This one model doesn't do everything for whatever required for you. So you need to interconnect the models to get your complete solution. Are you getting?
Yeah.
So if you are required to understand interconnection, that means you need to understand what are the capabilities of interfacing models that you require for the ultimate aim or the specification of your product that you want to deliver. And this is a big job that you require to work with the finance person and with the model people to work together.
Okay, thanks, sir.
Thank you. I'm jumping the queue a little bit. Arushi, please go ahead.
Thank you, Professor. So Jaya, it's very motivating to hear from women leaders like you. Such success comes with a lot of trade-off, I'm sure, at personal level, especially for women. Like there are a lot of things to manage. So how did you manage your work-life integration to navigate your career, which is like amazing?
Actually, I don't never call it work-life integration or work-life balance or something. I call it as work-life cooperation or collaboration. Because one thing is definitely there. You require for that, first and foremost of all, excellent planning at both the fronts.
Mhm.
And second, the discipline. Third, the prioritization. You should be able to prioritize at home front what is important. See, for me, cutting vegetable was not important, but frying vegetable to the taste of my home people was important. So I never cut vegetables. I always fry them so that it comes to their taste. So I will save time. If I have to go for the meetings, I will buy the vegetables such that my servant will be able to cook when I am not there. If I am going for a meeting and I know that I am going to come late, I will plan accordingly, tell on the front that I am going to come late and other things. Inform everybody and do. I used to travel a lot. It requires a lot of arrangements at home. I had also one son and one daughter. My son is a Microsoft partner and my daughter is a pediatric dentist. So I used to give importance to their studies and their well-being. So I worked on quality time, then quantity time. So this is one other parameter that I always worked on. Instead of all of us, we used to take our food at the workplaces in the morning. So I used to cook in the evening so that we can have at least dinner together as many times as possible. So that is a good quality time with the family. Never watch TV, never watch mobile, never take phone calls during the dinners. That was a rule at home. Still, that is the rule at home. So these are some of the things which we have to manage. And at work, there is work priority, for sure. Otherwise, you can't do. You have to have a disciplined life. I used to start my work 8 o'clock means 8 o'clock, for sure. I used to be in the office. My office people used to come at 10:30, 11, 9:30. But I used to reach office at 8 because 8 to 9:30 was my time for my work at office without any disturbance from people coming and meeting me. So some of these types of disciplines we have to do. So regularity, discipline, and priority is the thing.
Very insightful. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, we are already hit 5:40. The last question, Satyendra, be brief, please.
Thank you so much, Professor. So, Jaya, thank you so much for your good session. I have just one question. In AI era, as a strategic architect, when we are talking about solution in the boardroom, right? Normally, that's kind of like my job. So when you're presenting the solution, how can impact to their business, right? In terms of different parameter. There is another guy in the boardroom who is leveraging the AI capability, and from voice based on
Another person in the boardroom who is
leveraging the AI capability right?
Oh.
Based on my notes he's taken, because there's a lot of tool, and he'd come up with the different kind of questions which I'm not prepared. How to handle, because normally when you're giving the solution presentation, it is happening very frequently since last 2 years. How to handle beautifully in that, because I'm not prepared entire, because I cannot compete in terms of 5 different AI tools, right? So how to prepare and how to handle this situation during the board discussions?
So when he asks questions, you feel that the question has a value, question has a good suggestion.
From the client. Yeah. From the client, definitely it's worthful for them, but I'm not prepared during the boardroom as per all, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to listen to, you're not prepared, that's okay, but you have to ask him to explain, and if it is a good solution that he's suggesting, say that we will discuss it after the thing, or say that I will come up and tell you again. And if it is not a good solution and you feel that it is AI generated solution, you should be able to say it confidently. Because the confidence matters. And that's why your technology understanding of the problem is important. If you understood the problem and if your solution is giving the solution to the problem, you should be confident enough.
Thank you, Jaya. Makes sense, yeah. So there are 2 key points: confidence and yeah.
Acceptance is also another point.
Yeah.
If you do not know, say you do not know, you'll get back. Right? This is what she's saying. Right? Say that confidently. Right?
There shouldn't, ego shouldn't come there. Because sometimes with the ego, we start quarreling.
True, yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Jaya. Though there is one more hand raising, at the want of time, I would like to stop here. Jaya, once again, thank you very much for sharing your inspiring journey with us. Very rarely we get a leader like you coming to the class and discussing her insights with us. I'm really thankful and I feel privileged to have you in the class. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, all of you. I really enjoyed. I hope you must have satisfied your immediate requirements and zeal. I will be very happy to have another opportunity talking to people like you, because that is my social service.
Right. Thank you very much, ma'am. Yeah. Have a good evening. Have a good evening, ma'am. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jaya.